Today we're going to make a two-tiered wood grain look tray that starts with some cake pans from the Dollar Tree and a little vase also from the Dollar Tree. That's going to be the connector piece. Now what we're going to do to begin with is paint the cake pans white using this Rust-Oleum accents with the paint and primer both included, and the vase will be using this flat black that's also the Rust-Oleum accents that will stick to glass. So we're going to do that, and then the vase is going to need a little support in the middle to make it a good connector. So we're going to take this little piece of cork coaster and cut it to fit down in there so that there's a flat surface that we can use to glue the cake pans together. So I'm going to show you first how to make the insert to go into the vase, and we'll get these cake pans painted. Hey y'all, it's Nicole at Muchka in the Making, where we're all about building each other up and making things that make life more beautiful. So if you'd like to get in on the fun, please hit that like button and subscribe so that you'll never miss a video. Here's what the container of the E6000 glue looks like, and here is the package of cork coasters that I got. I didn't buy these for this particular project. I was going to do some sublimated coasters back before Christmas and just never got around to it. And I messed up when I was gluing this. I didn't have it in the camera frame. I'm sorry about that. But all I did, I just took the glue and went around the edges of the cork and then just stuck it down in there. And it's not just a super perfect fit, but it's going to be okay because when this glue dries, it's going to hold it really well anyway, and we'll be ready to put our pieces together. Don't even worry if you're getting some drips down in there. I don't know if you can see the drips, but some of that glue is dripping because I did put a good bit on there. Don't worry about that at all because it is not going to show. All this that I've got on the top of it, that's not going to show, so we're not even concerned. It just needs to be a tight bond, so we want to let that dry for a good while so that and the directions on the glue say to allow 24 hours for curing, and the maximum bond may not be reached for up to 72 hours. So at least 24 hours dry time if you have it. 72 may be even better, but if you don't, that's okay because you're going to be gluing some more, and as long as you don't move your stand around too much in the first little bit, it's going to be all right. In the beginning, I think I said we were doing a wood grain tray. Silly me, we're not doing wood grain. We're doing something even better. We're going to do a two-tiered tray that looks a little stained, a little well-worn, a lot well-loved, and something that looks like it could have come straight out of your grandmother's kitchen. I'll show you how we're going to get that look in just a second. Okay, so my cake pans have been painted white, and what we're going to do now is come in with this Krylon chalky finish antiquing wax and give them that pretty, well-worn, well-loved, aged patina. So you just want to swish that on there, wipe that on there, and maybe just give it a minute to really kind of set and let the paint take on the stain or the wax anyway. It's called wax, but it's more the consistency of like, I don't know, like it's just like thick paint almost, and it's gonna do almost the same thing as like a thick paint would. So just let that set for a minute, and we'll just take this one and do the same thing and rub all over the surface. As you can see, I've put on some gloves because it will stain your hands. I have come to find out though that 100% acetone is my best friend when I've been playing around in the paint or epoxy or whatever, because it will take off just about anything. And what I've done, I've just used some old some rags from some old t-shirts that I was sublimating and I've messed up. When I was first getting started, a lot of times I'd get the pattern on sometimes upside down, or sometimes, well, this still happens sometimes. Sometimes I might try to press something on and the fabric is too dark to take it. So anyway, I don't know if you can tell much about that, but it is taking on a more aged look somehow. And you know, you can even leave a little bit more of that if you want to, especially in the cracks and everything, to just really, you know, I've seen some old dishes that my grandmother had put in the oven that kind of got this look, which was a good thing as long as she didn't leave them in there so long that they cracked. That also happens sometimes. And one of my grandmothers had this beautiful antique, we called it the banana pudding bowl. It was like a light teal and it was gorgeous, but it had been stuck in the oven so often that it cracked. So anyway, we don't want the cracks, we just want the good antique glow, just that warm farmhouse look. And so that is what we're going for here. So we're just working another coat of this antique and wax in. And again, we're going to let that set for just a minute while we do this one. And once we've got them good and coated, we'll lightly wipe them off. And then as soon as the color is as deep as you'd like, we're going to put the pieces together. You know, I feel like if you want the color a little bit deeper, maybe just let it dry a little bit longer before you start wiping it off. But I'm going to go ahead and wipe this down so we can get on with what we're doing. And too, I think I like just the light, I don't know, like the ivory stained looking, tea stained almost, I guess would be a good way to put it. So just wipe that off a little bit. Just at least enough that you're not putting fingerprints in it when you touch it. You can tell when it's past the fingerprint point. And again, I'm going to have to repaint this desk before I pass it on to my daughter. She's wanting it when she moves out, and it's looking like that's going to be sooner rather than later, and I'm going to have to do a little upkeep on this desk before I send it with her. I don't think she would probably like it like this, but it's a good little work surface for me until I can get my husband to build me a bigger workbench up here, or who knows, maybe I'll build my own. That would be a pretty good project. I don't know how I would video, but hey, there's a first time for everything. So anyway, we have our little stained trays now. And you know, if you want a little bit less of the antique and wax, you can do that. If you want a little bit more, you can do that too. But I hope you can see kind of what the look we're getting here. Just a nice kind of little bit blotchy, just kind of like natural wear on them. So I'm going to take the gloves off, and we're going to take the vase and figure out how we're going to position that. You want it pretty close to center, so you might want to make some marks to make sure that it is. Except that I actually think I like it better like this. What you think? I think that looks good. So, and that's why we did the little piece of cork in the end, so that we would have that to kind of make it a little more stable, a little bit more secure. So let's measure. I measured earlier. I think it's about, yeah, it's right at 7.5 inches. So we'll just go like 3 3/4. And let's see, I need my glasses, I think, to do this. Measure 3 3/4 and just kind of mark about the center so you'll know where to put your where to put the little vase. All right. And then you can even like set it up like this over where you marked and just kind of make sure you've got it about where you want it, and just turn it to make sure it's looking right. I think that's gonna do it. And so I'll just take a little mark right here. It's not gonna show much, and if it does, I'll cover over it with some more of the antiquing wax. Just make it. Oop! Glad I didn't break that. But what we're going to do now is just going to take more of our A6000 glue, and we're just going to fill that circle up. You don't want so much though that it leaks out from under the edge much though, because I did that one time on a project I was working on, and it wasn't terrible, but I really wished that the glue had not shown so much. So I've probably got too much even just right there. That stuff is thick, y'all. Thick. Alright, so just wipe off the end, and you don't even have to spread it out, because it's going to spread when you press down on it. But just press down and let it stick to the bottom of your pan. And like I said, if there's some of the, I know we can see a little bit of the circle still showing, but that's okay, because we're going to be able to cover that up with some more of the wax if we want to. Really, I don't know that it'll bother me just like that, but if you want it covered, you certainly can. And just press on that for a few minutes, and then you're gonna, once you get the whole thing together, you're gonna want to set something heavy on it overnight, just to my glue has started coming out the other end. I have sprung a leak, y'all. That's not good. We're just gonna go with it though, huh? So just get you another good big glob on the top, and take this pan and just kind of eyeball it to kind of make sure it's where you want it, pretty centered, and hold it on there for a few minutes, and that's it. There's your two-tiered tray. It's good for a lot of things, but like I said, this sometimes if you don't set something heavy, it's going to want to slide. So I'm just going to set something heavy on the top and leave it there overnight, because like the directions say, the C6000 glue, sometimes it takes up to 72 hours for the maximum bond to form. And then once that's all done, I'm going to come back and I'm going to touch up the antiquing wax a little bit, and that'll be our tray. Okay, so here's the tray once it's all finished. I decided to not even touch it up or anything. I liked it about the color that it was. I did have a few drips that are not great, but you know what? I just used a little bit too much glue, but once it's sitting on a flat surface, it's not going to be all level, and I don't think anybody will ever notice. But there's a lot of things you could use this for. It could be used in an entryway to catch keys or loose change or whatever, or you could use it in a bedroom for jewelry or whatever, or you could just decorate it with a candle and some greenery. There's a lot of things you could do. Anyway, the entire project cost $3 because it was 2 cake pans from the Dollar Tree and a little vase from the Dollar Tree, plus just a little bit of spray paint and some antiquing wax that I already had. So a super inexpensive project to do. So it's something that you might like to try sometime. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you get to do something soon that makes your heart smile. Bye for now.